Across Texas now, the governor is ordering a strict crackdown on the English language requirement for commercial drivers in the state. Today, he directed DPS to fully enforce federal rules requiring truck drivers to speak English, saying it's critical for highway safety and accident prevention. Since a federal executive order was signed back in June, Texas has already cited more than 400 drivers for language violations, most of them licensed in Mexico or out of state. DPS will now conduct English proficiency checks on all commercial drivers and will stop issuing licenses to anyone who can't communicate proficiently in English. Meanwhile, as people try to recover from the horrible flooding in Kerr County, an organization is working to get millions of dollars in donations to help the people who needed it most. Andrew Moore has been following that funding, and he's in Kerr County to explain how people can help.
I'm here in Bumblebee Hills, where some homes were completely flooded and many homeowners lost everything they owned. But a volunteer organization came in right away to help rebuild, and now another organization has raised more than $100 million for the rebuilding effort.
I'd say the water line was about right here.
When Arthur Gonzalez found out his friend's home had been flooded with more than 5 feet of water in Bumblebee Hills, he got to Kerr County immediately.
When I got my trailer and the welder, that way they can have power out here, and I brought it out here, and then we started cleaning up right away.
The volunteer then started clearing away limbs and trash. He hasn't left since. Then, just a few days later, a nonprofit called Somebody Cares came in and also started cleaning.
Everything was just drenched in water, and then you have all the muck.
Project manager Mark Roy says they had to take everything out of the homes. Then they had to replace insulation, drywall, flooring, and wiring. And even more support for home repairs is on the way. The Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country has raised more than $100 million to provide relief in multiple ways. CEO Austin Dixon told us the first priority is housing people who are displaced.
That is paying for people's rent, paying for people to stay in Airbnbs long term.
The second priority, Dixon says, will be to fund rebuilding homes.
That will be able to work through the case managers to help individual households figure out what's next for their home.
Dixon said they've already reached out to at least 77 people to help specifically with housing, and they've already helped more than 30 people find a new place to stay. And the Community Foundation hopes to have that program for funding home repairs ready by the end of next week. Meanwhile, Somebody Cares still needs more carpenters, electricians, and plumbers. So if you want to volunteer, now may be a good time. In Kerr County, Andrew Moore.
All right, Andrew, thanks so much. And this comes as sweeping new safety laws for summer camps are now heading to the governor's desk. The Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act bans cabins and floodplains and requires emergency plans, weather radios, and warning systems that do not rely on the internet. A companion bill adds state inspections, safety teams, and camper-to-counselor ratios. State lawmakers also approved a one-time $288 million disaster relief package.